let me start this video off by saying I am not a werewolf fan from the beginning by any means necessary. When I was younger, my mom definitely influenced me more so with vampires, with The Lost Boys, and different vampire movies like that. So I've always been a huge fan of vampires. Really didn't get into werewolves, except for like Silver Bullet. I really enjoyed that movie, mainly because I really like Corey Haim, and Stephen King is awesome. So, I have not watched The Howling until recently. I didn't go, I ordered this off of a website called Hamilton Books, which I recommend to all of you because you can get really cheap horror movies. I got this one. It is a Scream Factory, and I got it for $7, $12 after shipping. So I was super happy. Just thought I'd let y'all know. But anyway, so I watched The Howling for the first time and was completely blown away. I can absolutely 100% tell you that The Howling is the greatest werewolf movie I've ever seen. I was blown away. First off, Dee Wallace was phenomenal in this movie. Her character reminds me a lot of Helen off of Candyman, because after the incident with Eddie or whatever, she, would have these like trances and blackouts and whatnot, and it just reminded me a lot of Helen from Candyman. And she, I don't know, I think it's because they kind of look similar in their respective movies or whatever. So Dee Wallace definitely blew me away in this movie, and I was not expecting the acting to be this strong. I could not stand her husband Bill in this movie. He reminded me of Tom Atkins, and it was just super unsettling. And I had just watched The Fog, which I'll be talking about in another video. But Tom Atkins is creepy, and he kind of scares me anyway. So this dude, I didn't like Bill, and his character was kind of pointless in all seriousness. But the main thing about this movie that I really, really want to talk about is the practical effects. Because I was not expecting, amazing practical effects. I mean, this movie came out in 1980. I wasn't expecting it, and that's fair to say. But what I got was insane. And the scene that got me was the hand transformation scene after the werewolf gets his arm cut off, and you see the werewolf hand transform into a human hand. And that was absolutely amazing. And I paused the movie right there, and I just sat there and was like, what? And I instantly got on my phone and was like, who in the world did the effects for this movie? And I found out that Rob Bottin did the effects for this movie, who was also the same gentleman that did The Thing, and he also worked on, but I mean, The Thing had the best practical effects out there, and The Howling definitely is up there. After that scene in the final transformation, after seeing Eddie transform into a werewolf, it was a long transformation scene, like really long, but it was worth it, and it was disgusting, okay, in the best way possible. It looked uncomfortable to just go through that. And the part that really got me was when his snout started, just seeing the skin pull. It was gross. It was really gross, but effective. And I mean, here's something to think about. If a movie from 1980 can make me sit there and go, wow, that's something. That's impressive. Because I mean, you have to think, the effects were good in that time, but they were not this good. Like, The Howling was way ahead of its time. I mean, this clearly goes to show how good Rob Bottin truly is. I mean, that was insane. And even after Eddie transforms and he's like, his half transformation later towards the end part of the movie, he looks disgusting. Even those effects were, I mean, 110% above standard. So they definitely went all out with the effects in this movie, and the acting was 100% superb. Marsha was weird, very weird, but again, it was superb acting all the way around. The only one that I didn't like was Bill, and I mean, he kind of got what he deserved anyway, so it was fine. I thought the ending was so cool, having Dee Wallace, like, transform, you know, on TV and all that. But I'm not gonna lie, I hated her transformation. She looked like a cat. It was not good, okay? So that was the only thing that I was like, okay, I understand that she was like a girl and you have to, but that was a cat. I didn't like it. It was weird, but that's okay. That's fine. That's the only, if that is the only complaint I have of this movie is Bill and her Furby looking self at the end, that's okay. Because this movie definitely surprised me. I was very mad at myself that I did not watch it sooner. So I definitely think that everyone needs to watch this movie. These are like immediate thoughts too, because I just finished it yesterday. And was just, I had to talk about it. I'm gonna do one on The Fog, but The Howling definitely is better than The Fog. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion. So I wanted to talk about that one first. So if you really like, you know, good practical effects, because I don't know about y'all, but I'm not a huge CGI fan. I would much rather have a physical, you know, something you can actually see and you know that is real. It's just more effective to me. The Howling is perfect, and if you like werewolf movies, definitely watch The Howling. So yeah, if you haven't watched it, please watch it. Tell me what you think about it. Yeah, and also, if you have watched The Howling and you want to watch another good werewolf movie, I would recommend Silver Bullet. Like I said earlier, it's a really fun movie. It's not as good as The Howling. The werewolf is a little bit cheesier, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. But it's still definitely a fun movie, and it's definitely cheesy in the best ways. And it's got Gary Busey in it, so that's kind of fun. So that's, I guess, all on this werewolf edition of The Shining. I will see you next time. Keep watching scary movies so I can keep talking about them, and I'll catch y'all later.